Today, we're diving into The Banker, a powerful drama set in the 1960s that reveals the courageous, behind-the-scenes efforts of two African-American entrepreneurs determined to break racial barriers in the American real estate and banking industries. Our story begins in 1963 in Los Angeles, California. The film opens with Bernard Garrett, a smart, ambitious young black man with a sharp mind for finance and real estate. Bernard has one dream: to make it big in real estate. He's determined to buy, renovate, and rent out properties, even though, in the 1960s, the market was anything but fair to African Americans. Bernard's interest in real estate started young. Growing up in a racially segregated Texas, he was driven by the idea of using wealth to empower his community and confront the racial divide that's kept black people from owning property in certain neighborhoods. In Los Angeles, Bernard partners with Joe Morris, a wealthy, charismatic African-American nightclub owner who recognizes Bernard's brilliance. Joe is impressed with Bernard's plans and agrees to partner with him. Joe becomes Bernard's confidant, ally, and eventual friend as they navigate the challenges of building wealth in a white-dominated world. Together, they devise a plan that's daring for the time: to invest in properties in high-income white neighborhoods. But here's where the story gets complicated. In 1960s Los Angeles, the racist housing laws prohibit African Americans from buying property in these desirable neighborhoods. Knowing this, Bernard and Joe decide to get creative. They realize they need a front, someone who can publicly represent them and handle the real estate transactions in their place. They decide on Matt Steiner, a white working-class man with no background in finance or real estate. Bernard and Joe train Matt to pose as the face of their business, while Bernard provides the brainpower and expertise from behind the scenes. They teach Matt everything, from handling business conversations to calculating property values. Bernard even goes as far as creating detailed scripts for Matt to memorize. And whenever a transaction or negotiation is too complex, Bernard hides in the background, feeding instructions to Matt. Their plan works. Matt successfully secures ownership of several buildings in the most affluent neighborhoods in Los Angeles. Bernard and Joe begin to see substantial profits, and for a moment, it seems like they've cracked the code. The team is secretly building wealth, breaking down racial barriers one property at a time. Their portfolio grows, and soon they are managing dozens of valuable buildings. But Bernard and Joe's vision goes beyond personal wealth. They see themselves as pioneers and are determined to help other black families gain access to the same kind of financial opportunities they've managed to unlock. They're motivated by a larger goal: to help African Americans get loans and buy homes and businesses in places they've been historically barred from. The stakes rise when Bernard and Joe decide to buy a bank. They set their sights on a struggling bank in Texas, Bernard's home state, where he knows firsthand how black people are denied financial support. Bernard wants to give black families the chance to borrow money, own homes, and start businesses, something he was denied growing up. Again, they enlist Matt as their frontman. But buying a bank is much more challenging than buying buildings, and their new venture attracts attention, especially in Texas, where segregation is deeply ingrained. Bernard's return to his hometown to acquire a bank stirs up local resentment, especially when people realize a black man might be pulling the strings. As Matt tries to handle the responsibilities of running a bank, the challenges start to overwhelm him. He struggles with the complex management decisions and the pressure from the white community. Meanwhile, Bernard and Joe must stay hidden in the background to keep up the illusion of Matt's solo leadership. The strain begins to show, and tensions rise within their team. Soon, things take a darker turn. Their actions draw the attention of the federal government, which investigates them for fraud. The authorities argue that Matt is just a puppet, and that Bernard and Joe's actions have violated banking laws despite their intentions to fight racial injustice. They are charged with federal crimes, and a courtroom battle ensues. Here, Bernard is forced to defend his intentions in front of an all-white jury. He argues passionately about the systemic racism embedded in the banking and real estate industries and how he used unconventional means to level the playing field. Bernard's testimony is compelling, exposing the extent of racial inequality in the financial sector and highlighting the profound need for change. However, in a time when discrimination is still deeply embedded in the system, his arguments fall on largely deaf ears. In the end, both Bernard and Joe face prison sentences. While the legal system punishes them, their impact remains. The Banker ends on a powerful note, showing that while Bernard and Joe's tactics may have been legally questionable, They helped pave the way for future generations to access the financial world on more equal terms. Bernard's fight to change the banking system marks him as a trailblazer, challenging the racial barriers that have kept countless Black Americans from achieving financial independence. As the credits roll, the movie leaves viewers with a complex message. The courage it takes to break down oppressive systems often comes with personal sacrifice, and those who challenge injustice don't always see victory in their lifetimes. However, their efforts become the seeds of change, opening doors for others to continue the fight for equality. And that's The Banker, a true story that shows us the cost of pushing boundaries in a racially divided America. It's a story of courage, resilience, and the determination to make a difference, even if that means risking everything.